for the nation to know. 100 shillings we collect as taxes, we spend 61 shillings in debt service. We have paid Kenya's Eurobond debt that was borrowed in 2014 of $2 billion that are our neck. We paid the last installment of $500 million last week. Today, Kenya's debt burden is much less, more sustainable, poised to redeem our country from the discomfort of debt and assert our sovereignty. Early this year, Treasury had proposed 0.18 trillion. I did direct that it be reduced by 200 billion to come down to 3. The Finance Bill 2024, generated to actualize this budget, underwent, which resulted to concessions by which we agreed to drop proposals on VAT on bread, motor vehicle circulation, VAT on locally manufactured diapers and sanitary pads, as well as excise duty on money transfer services, among others. The additional tax measures we had proposed in this year's finance bill were to raise money in 346 billion. When the concessions were made, subsequent to public participation by Parliament, that came down to 200 billion. I had made, taking into account our situation and the priorities that are there, I of Parliament seated behind me, and those who voted yes, for identifying our nation. Because when I made the proposals with my cabinet, we had certain critical priorities for the nation. Number one is our agriculture. We did make recommendations. Money we were going to raise from the finance bill was 10 billion shillings that will go to fertilizer subsidy, 18 billion shillings that would go to making sure that junior secondary school teachers, 46 of them, 46,000 of them would be confirmed on permanent and pensionable basis. We are very clear in our minds that education being the greatest, no child in Kenya should go to a school where there is no teacher or where. It is because of that reason that in this finance bill also we had committed extra 20,000 teachers. We also had envisioned, because of the program of last mile connectivity to homes, especially in rural areas, we had committed 50 million for every constituency for the last mile connectivity. Because that there are many people who today cannot go to hospital because they have no health insurance. we had committed 6 billion shillings to operationalize our universal health that would make it possible for every citizen to have a health insurance, those who cannot afford to be paid for, and to also operationalize the chronic illness fund. It's possible for those who suffer from cancer, diabetes, hypertension, to be able to go treated and go home without being asked for any money. We also had to put in money for our coffee farmers to retire the heavy debts that are bedeviling our coffee farmers. We also had allocated money for our sugarcane farmers, ensure that our sugarcane farmers get out of the debts that they're in. We had also committed to our milk farmers to make sure that every farmer is paid a minimum of 50 shillings per litre. That these farmers, very hard-working citizens of our nation, get a fair return and for feeding our nation. And that is why I commend these members of parliament for agreeing with us that all the priority areas I have mentioned were the to be funded. And by so doing, they supported the proposal to incorporate also the views of the people. They came back to us after they went to listen to the people of Kenya. And they came back and reduced the budget on their own by 146 billion shillings. Notwithstanding all these concessions, it has become evident that members of the public still insist on the need for us to make more. And because I run a government, but I also lead people, and the people have spoken, I am grateful to all the members of the National who voted yesterday affirmatively for the Finance Bill 2024 as amended on the floor of the House to incorporate the views generated through public participation. And following the passage of the bill, the country witnessed widespread expression of dissatisfaction with the bill, regrettably resulting in the loss of life, destruction of property, and desecration of constitutional institutions. On my own behalf, and on behalf of these members and many other Kenyans, I send my condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones in this very unfortunate manner. Consequently, having reflected on the conversation around the content of the Finance Bill 2024, and listening keenly to the people of Kenya who have said that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024, I concede I will not sign the 2024 Finance Bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn, and I have agreed with these members that that becomes position. Accordingly, There is need for us as a nation to pick up from here. And I am therefore proposing that because we have gotten rid of the finance, it is necessary for us to have a conversation as a nation going forward. How do we manage the affairs of the country together? How do we manage together? How do we work on the budget with the deficits that now exist together? And as I committed last, I will be proposing an engagement with the young people of our nation, our sons and daughters, for us to listen to them. As I said on Sunday, listen to their views, listen to their proposals, their ideas, their concerns, and what they think we should do better as we go forward. I am also recommending a multi-sectoral, bipartisan, multi-stakeholder from civil society, religious organizations, bodies, for us as a nation to speak to the future of our country together. And this will be on matters that are contained in the bill and matters